Greetings my friends, how you doing? This is Zed from Zedoutdoors. I hope you're having an awesome day. So, I'm with Mr. MCQ Bushcraft. Mike, how you doing?
How you doing, Zed? Good to see you.
You too as well, man. So, here's the story. We're here on a 2-day wild camp. Now, this is the second day, so you're thinking, what happened to the first day? Well, got to Mike's quite early yesterday, and very kindly spent quite a lot of time at his place just sorting through my kit. I've got quite a few acquisitions over the past couple of weeks. Kit I've been researching for well over a year, like a brand new axe and so forth. And so we spent quite a bit of time. Mike very kindly took some time out yesterday to go through the kit. And we went through quite a bit, didn't we?
Yeah, we went through the whole lot, yeah.
Yeah.
It was quite good, actually.
Once again, Mike looking at my kit thinking, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. Every time I come, I'm thinking, right, that's it, I've minimised it. And he's like, you don't need that, you don't need that. So it was good, it was a real good education, and it took quite a bit of time. So we got here yesterday afternoon into this woodland, and it was about, I don't know, 2ish, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was about 3:30, yeah.
Yeah, about half 3, yeah. It was getting quite late, and the kind of issue we had was obviously we had to set up the base camp, we had to kind of get the firewood ready and everything, and it took a lot of time. So filming was just really tough, you know, because obviously if I started filming, then it would have eaten into kind of it getting dark. So my apologies for not being able to record the first day, but it was good. We primarily just spent finding a good location.
Yeah. Just found this location here. We've got a water source down there. And just made some debris beds out of leaves. So we've just got loads of oak leaves, made some debris beds, and got everything set up, firewood and everything. So yeah, it was you know, put together a good camp. Yeah,
it was good. I want to take you in the panorama a bit later on. So basically, the goal for this kind of particular wild camp is Mike, once again, very kindly, is kind of really guiding me through my journey in bushcraft. And with this new acquisition in kit, like I've got a new journal, an axe, and so forth. What we're going to do on the second day today is primarily just spend looking at maintenance, how to kind of maintain the kit, how to get the journal up and running, you know, so I'm going to start documenting my learnings along the way, possibly trying out a couple of other things as well in terms of like bushcrafty type stuff. But first and foremost, we have the biggest priority in the survival situation, and that is bannock. Bannock breakfast, right, that's it. Any survival situation. If your plane crashes in the Sahara Desert, it's
bannock,
that's it, man. It's taught in the SAS, that's what I heard anyway.
Yeah.
And stuff. So what we're going to do now is, we've still got the fire that we had from last night. It's still a little bit hot actually, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a bit of heat there. I reckon we can recover that.
So what we're going to do is, I want to go collect some twigs. We've got some tinder that we collected.
Yeah, grass. Yeah, we just got huge bundles of dry grass, which is how we got it going.
Oh, not that dry grass. It's nice, not that type.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got the grass to get that going. So why don't you join us on this wild camp, and that's it, we get bannock on the go.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
So you were saying this is a good tree then to pick up?
Yeah, this is hazel, yeah. So you often get all this kind of dead standing limbs within it.
Right.
So even though like the ground's fairly damp, you've got a lot of these limbs here that are dead, and you can tell that they're dead because they have like a black spot on them, like a fungi.
Okay.
And they're generally just a dead giveaway. Like if you look at this one here, I don't know if you've got it on your side.
Yes, I have, yeah.
You can see it all there, so you know this one's dead. You can just pop it straight out. It's a nice dead standing bit of wood. It's dry.
This one here?
Yeah. We just need really small stuff, because that grass will burn very quickly.
So to put some on top?
Yeah, just needs to catch quite quickly. So just little things like this. This will do actually.
Okay, so with the grass, what we're doing, are we finding the...
Yeah, I mean there's still quite a bit of heat. We used oak last night, so I imagine there'll be some embers lurking around in there somewhere. I mean there's one there, it's quite a big one still going. So there's quite a bit going on in there still.
Oh yeah. So the idea is to kind of bring the embers to the top and then bring it visible and then...
Yeah, I'm just kind of finding ones that are quite big and fairly useful, like this one here. You know, and you can see there that that's a It's a pretty good ember, and this little bundle isn't really enough. We used quite a lot of it yesterday. You just hold it upside down, and obviously we don't really want to smother it, so we get these little twigs, just put them over the top and support them in the air with that piece of oak, and pray to God that it catches. But we can always nurse it a little bit. It's just that grass has a tendency to burn out very quickly, so you need quite a bit of it.
So guys, right, so we've got the fire going, but something even more spectacular. So we noticed like a bit of a weird light. We thought, what's happening? Like the wildlife is going mental. Now I'm not going to get all hippie on you, but it's actually a spring equinox, and it's the eclipse, isn't it?
Yeah, solar eclipse. It's happening right now.
It's happening right now. So that's why it's weird. But all of a sudden it felt like it was getting dark. It was like, it's really, really weird.
All the shadows sort of elongating, and things just went.
And it's also the
feeling a bit different, didn't it?
It's a supermoon, so it's 3 different celebrations today, man. How crazy is that? All coinciding in one day.
I'm not sure when the actual sun. I'm sort of tempted not to look at the sun, but just when it's going to completely cover over.
I know it's impossible to get it across on video what's happening right now, but it is weird. It is really, really weird. Look at the shadows. The shadows have gone real.
Yeah, everything's changed quite a...
Yeah, and it's like literally happened in the space of like 2-3 minutes. Let me do your panorama so you can get a good view.
It should completely black out.
Yeah, but it's getting like that, isn't it, right now?
Yeah.
Once again, guys, on video, it's really hard to get this across on video, but... you just have to take my word for it. All of a sudden, the shadow's just gone vroom, really long.
You know, I'm not sure whether the shadow's elongating or... quite rotten there.
Okay, Mike, so we've got incorporated some hazel, meaning what, we just cut it in a...
In a certain way, yeah, just to help promote a bit more growth. So you'll see a lot of shoots fly out of where we've cut it in years to come. Well, hazel's like that anyway, but it just stops water pooling up and rotting it down. But we've got these 3 poles here, and we're going to make a tripod. I was just going to show you how to lash one together. And it starts off with a clove hitch normally. You don't have to do a clove hitch, but it's a useful knot to know. And there's a couple of ways of doing one. You can go over, and then under, like that.
Oh, so it tightens on itself.
Yeah, that's right. So that
nice.
creates the knot that way. There's another way of doing it, because you can't always put that loop that you've just made, for example, over a branch. It's quite an awkward thing to thread onto stuff. So sometimes you might want to actually tie it onto the branch, and that's a good way of knowing how to do it. So you just wrap it round and then bring it over itself like that, so the piece of cord goes under, and then it comes over the top of this piece of cord here. It's hard to show it really, it's just something worth practicing, and then it just comes through like that, and that creates the clove hitch as well.
Gotcha.
So it's just another way of knowing how to do that knot, you know, if you can't actually thread it onto a branch because it's covered with little saplings and things, you know, it just gets a bit tricky. But a couple of ways to tie a tripod. This is probably the easiest way of doing it. Sorry mate, just set a little trap for you there.
No, I was about to say
Yeah.
cooking me for lunch.
It's the eclipse, it's made me go crazy. So we just wrap it round like this, literally like that, very easy, and then you start just going in between, so you can sort of spread the poles out. And it can be tricky doing this, and you just start lashing in between like that, and you go around several times, and it tightens up this cord around that piece of hazel there. You do the same there, and then obviously tie it off, and then you can actually, you know, kind of have your tripod spread out. But there is another way of doing it. It starts off with the clove hitch. Just bring that a bit further down so it doesn't have a tendency to slip off. And that's just by weaving. And this generally creates a bit more separation between the poles if you do it this way.
You can end up making a jumper as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little jute twine jumper. Just make sure you kind of keep it fairly taut. There's obviously a little knot the other side of this that keeps catching the cord, so something to be mindful of. So you can see by lashing them together that way, it closes off the gap quite a lot.
Gotcha.
So it can be hard to do the binding afterwards unless you keep it nice and loose, but doing it this way actually creates that separation. So it can be an easier way of doing it. It just depends really how you like to do things. Everyone's got their own techniques, haven't they? This cord's a little bit grabby as well.
So it picks up stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's like trying to pull a fishing
Yeah,
rod.
jute twine, spending time with you, I realise jute twine is pretty much the primary cordage that you carry, isn't it?
Yeah, just carry a huge roll of the stuff. If I go away for a long time, I'll take a massive roll of it.
And why is it? Why is it not just the standard paracord or anything like that? Or
I don't like leaving litter in the woods, and you always get offcuts of cord.
right.
But also, you can burn jute twine, and make it into nest material, and I just like using it like that, just as a preference. I know you can burn paracord, and it's like baler's twine and things like that you see like the woodsmen use who manage woodlands like this. They use a lot of natural materials.
Right.
So if they've got these offcuts they're leaving everywhere, like if I cut that off, I can chuck it and I don't have to worry about
Oh, gotcha.
kind
So
of
it's more of
littering.
a kind of eco thing then.
Yeah, pretty much. It's nice to use something traditional as well. Paracord's great, but I rarely need a £550 break-in strain. I use it on my ridgeline and my tarp though, because it is quite strong. So I'm just going to go around again now, like that. So you can see what I did there, like I haven't just gone straight from there to there. Not that this is that important, but it just tightens things off. So I'm going to go around again and then start wrapping.
So you're going under and over, aren't you? Like
Pretty much, yeah. It doesn't matter
right.
though if you go over and under. You know, this I find paracord slippy as well sometimes. It doesn't hold knots well. It depends which one. It does obviously hold knots quite well, but I find sometimes if I get the cheap stuff, it can be hard to find decent paracord sometimes, especially
in the UK. It's,
it is.
And it gets extremely pricey.
That's right.
Like if you want and so far that I have looked online, it's the American make, but it just gets really pricey.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a bit of a shame really. We can't, I go on eBay to buy paracord and I buy some and it's a bit of a gamble, and then some stuff turns up and I just think, oh no, this stuff looks horrible. Just going to go around here a little bit more. I mean, I'm overkilling this, I don't need to do so much to it, but I'm just making sure it's quite secure. Just finish that off by just tucking that underneath. like that, and that'll do. Notice I'm cutting upward as well, not like that, straight into the into the leg. So that's it. You know, and then you can just kind of have your tripod out like this. It should be pretty strong. There's a little trick though as well to tightening it up if you think you've done it too loose, and you can do that by twisting one of these
interesting,
and tightening it all up, so you can see it creaking there, and it got really tight. And now we can get everything nicely spaced out, and it should be pretty strong. Yeah.
Look at that, man. We get playtime as well out in the woods with MCQ.
So, yeah, you make a swing and set up a playground in the woods that no one can use, so it should be all right.
Okay, so the tripod's all
set up.
All set up over the fire.
Trust the smoke to come right forward.
Oh no, the smoke.
Filming.
Smoke attacks us right as we start filming.
I've just set up a little rig here. We've got a piece of hazel there with a branch coming off of it, and I've doubled up the jute twine as well, just because it's quite thin, this stuff that I use, and I just wanted it to be a bit stronger. I'm just going to get out the smoke. I've just put some knots in, or one knot there, and you can see that it just grabs on into the tripod.
Nice.
So you can string it up and tie it off out the way and then just drop it down.
So that's like a stopper then, basically.
Yeah. You can even use little pieces of wood and just loop them in and kind of build like a ladder.
Right.
And if you have 3, you can just unhook them and adjust them, and it just means you've got like an
that's
adjustable
smart. Nice.
little tripod. But knots work fine provided you tie a few of them and it's big enough. And obviously the weight of the water, we want to be careful that doesn't kind of just pull through, but I've checked it and it looks pretty strong. So yeah, we can just tie this off somewhere. I mean, if we're going to be sitting over there, we might as well just wrap this piece of cord round and tie it off somewhere near us, so we've got a bit more control of it. But yeah, it should be fine really, just like it is. Just pop that in there for the time being.
Look at that, Mike. You're a smart guy with this stuff, man. You should start doing videos on YouTube, man. Seriously, document it.
Cheers, mate.
So what are we doing now then, Mike?
We're just thinking about a bit about firewood for tonight, and you can see that we've got this huge limb here. It's not really big, but it's quite a large limb. And this is on oak. This is oak here. You can tell that it's oak by the bark, by the branches, and obviously if you look at the ground, it's pretty evident there's quite a bit of oak around us. We've been using these leaves for our bedding, which is what we've been sleeping on, about 3 or 4 foot of oak leaves. It's been pretty comfortable actually.
It's been really good. I want to show that in a bit, yeah.
Yeah, nice and warm. But we've got these limbs here, and often you can look at them and think that they're really rotten because the outer of the bark is quite. This is a good way of picking out oak limbs on the ground. They're really linear and they almost rot in like a uniform fashion. They're just quite easy to pick out. Sometimes it's hard to explain how you can notice things, but if you come around this side, you know, it almost seems quite rotten, but as soon as we start cutting into this, the inner core of the wood will be as dense as any timber you buy off the shelf.
Right.
And it would burn fantastically. I mean, our fire last night.
Oh,
so
that was burning such a treat.
Yeah, we didn't have to touch it for pretty much the whole night because we just used oak all the way. So what I think we'll do, there's a little one here, might be a bit safer to take down first of all, because that one there's a little bit tall. But you can use an axe for them. With a small limb like this, you don't really need to do the gob technique where you make a gob there, which is a V, and then you cut down into the V. But on some of the bigger limbs you probably would want to do that. But this is just a small limb. You can see in the core there, you've got some really dense hard wood. And we were talking about, was it yesterday, wasn't it? You were talking about how even though it could be lying on the floor, yeah, it'll still be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be some pieces on the ground. Is this self-raising, is it?
Okay, so here we've got, it's not a flying saucer, that just landed into the West Country. This is the Life Venture titanium plate. Now I actually got this obviously inspired by Mr. MCQ himself. But what we're going to do, we're going to kind of like do some stuff on there, and want to have a go at making the handle. Now, obviously, you know, needless to say, Michael's done a very detailed tutorial, haven't you? On
yeah, I've done a little video on it. Yeah,
on your channel. But this is something now that I've got the titanium plate I want to make. In terms of the handle. Now, purposely, you made it quite long, haven't you?
yeah. I always generally do, just because I quite like to sit back from the fire and just have the frying pan like this at arm's length.
Right.
And it's just comfortable.
Ah, interesting.
You know, rather than being like right close up to the fire.
And getting the sun down.
Yeah, being quite warm and having a bit of a tough time with the smoke. So, just allows you to relax a bit.
So what are you doing now? You're
Just taking off the bark. This is going to be the end that's going to be in the frying pan, because there's always a little bit of overhang over the lip of the pan. And I'm just taking the bark off, obviously for hygiene purposes. Not that there'll be rarely any issues.
When you
with it.
talk about that, so what is it? Is there stuff that lies underneath the
Well, it's just bacteria. Bark will just harbour bacteria. It's like and there'll be bacteria on the bark as
right.
well. So generally, as a rule, it's always just good practice just to, if you're going to make a utensil,
right,
like this will be, I guess, because it'll be in the pan with the food.
Mm-hmm.
It's just to get rid of the bark. I mean,
right.
Cooking the piece of wood anyway would kill anything,
Mm-hmm.
but it's obviously just good to do that, just to minimise any potential issues you might have. There you go. So that's just the end that will be in the pan, but now we need to sort of cut up diagonally into there.
Okay, so is that to create the grip?
Yeah, that's right, just to
side?
create a little vice.
Right.
And you want, because this is green wood, and the reason we're using green wood, we've got some offcuts from things we've been doing today,
Yeah.
but at the same time green wood will obviously burn very, very slowly, even
Right.
in a fairly hot fire. And using green wood, there's a few issues. It can split quite easily, especially hazel.
Mm-hmm.
So if we cut in too far and then we twist that blade, we can
Right.
crack off a chunk.
Okay.
So you've got to be a bit careful when you're using it. And if you do get some really hard wood, you could use dead wood too. You don't necessarily need to use the green wood, but
Okay.
we're just using it in this case because we've got offcuts and obviously it won't burn at all. But if you pass me your backhoe.
Look at that, man. In my foul ravens. After ages, I found out that's what his pocket was for.
The saw. Oh yeah, we need your pan actually, I'll just grab that.
Smoke always comes in it.
Yeah, it's got me.
Bushcraft problems, man. That's what it is.
So you can see that it just needs to slot in like that.
Right.
So we're going to make a cut that goes about 1/3 of the way in. Try not to punch your sleeping bag with the other end. So something like that's fine.
Gotcha.
So we're kind of just before halfway.
Right.
I don't want to go too far in with this green wood like this, especially hazel. And then we can just slot the pan in. This will dent the pan, by the way. So
Okay.
I will be denting
So
your pan.
can you reimburse me via PayPal? Right.
But what you've got to do is just put the grip in the same place.
Right. Oh, okay. So you're maintaining that.
Yeah, every time. And there it is.
Check that out. Look at
That'll
that, man.
stay there. You can reinforce it actually by taking a little piece of bark you cut off, bending the plate, and just
interesting.
nipping it in like that. And even though the edges will burn away, the bit that's clamped inside won't. It just gives it that extra
interesting.
insurance that it won't break away. And that's it. There's your frying pan. But we're going to need to put some oil in that, because that's going to need some breaking in.
Oh, it's a brand new, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna
it's
need
too shiny, man. That's a problem. It's,
Serious breaking in that pan.
Yeah. The thing is, once we've finished cooking, we'll play some bushcraft tennis.
Yeah, exactly. I'll get mine out. That'll be it. Dunk.
So here we go, children. We are cooking now on Bushcraft Kids TV. we're making bannock.
Famous bannock.
Mike's famous bannock. So obviously it's just simple, isn't it? Just flour, water.
Yeah, and then anything else you want in it. I'll cook it on the coals, so it'll be a lot nicer today.
Okay, that's
This
proper.
is self-raising as well, so it should be quite good.
So what we're going to add some mixed fruit. Okay, some dried mixed fruit. And we've got some brown sugar as well.
Nice.
Shall we go for it?
Yeah, yeah. Let me just start mixing this up.
Do you want me to pour the water in for you?
Yeah, you can do.
Look at that proper team effort here, man.
Do you want to put the sugar in? Is this going to be a sweet one? Thank you. We're going to need to get some drinking water on the go later, aren't we?
I think this is the part of the video where I lose all my subscribers.
Why?
Corn sausages.
Oh, really?
No, not the real thing. There you go, man.
They're pretty tasty, actually.
They're really nice, man.
Corn's a mutt of fun. I reckon I'm ready.
Ready? That's it, all ready to go in the pan.
There it is. It's looking good, actually. It should be really nice.
That's the painting to the MCQ Bushcraft Frisbee.
Just got a little logo on there.
That's it. It's a banet that when you fry it, it just comes back to you.
There we go. That oil should have probably been a bit hotter, but it's alright. There we go. Let that oil cool down a bit too much, but never mind. It'll be alright, it'll still be good.
Okay, so while the banet's just kind of cooling off, I'm just fascinated. It's a bit difficult to see in this light actually, but if you notice the colouring of this, it's like a turquoise, isn't it? It's
yeah, it's really nice.
So what is this then?
It's a type of fungus that you find quite a lot in oak, and you can find it, you know, looking a lot more impressive than this. This is quite nice. I mean, you can break these open. I mean, and have a look inside. You might get better colouring, but that bit there is pretty nice. But there used to be a company in London that specialised in making furniture out of this.
Right.
You know, out of this green rot oak, and it was really expensive. It's actually quite hard to find it in such massive pieces, but yeah, you can dry these off and actually carve with them and then set them with oil, and they look incredible.
Oh,
when you
wow,
finish
nice.
with them. You can make some really impressive stuff out of it. And you can see that the colours are, yeah, they're pretty vibrant when you get a good bit.
So here we go, doing a bit of a teaser. Look at that, look at that camera angle. Oh, look at that. Slightly burnt, but that adds to the bushcraft effect. Kind of perfectly cooked bannock pan outdoors. It's got to be slightly burnt, so I'm going to get tucked straight into this.
Is that your bit, yeah? Mate, that's not bad. Let's cook the tree.
Oh mate, that's good.
That's alright, isn't it?
You've done well there. So Mike, what have we got here then?
This is the, well, this here is ivy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not poison ivy, as I think, you know, you kind of get a lot of that in the United States. This is just common European ivy.
Right.
And it's bleeding out. It's not in the best condition. You can see quite a lot of it. It's rotting and dying, and we've got a lot of sap coming out of it just here. And ivy, contains quite a lot of saponin, as do quite a lot of plants really.
Right.
And that's a bit like the plant's pesticide really.
Gotcha.
So natural kind of pesticide it uses for fungi and bacteria and really to deter insects and things as well. And this sap here, I mean, if you smell it, it smells incredibly strong. I don't know how to explain it. It's like orange peel mixed with bleach.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful smell.
It's really powerful. But you can actually use this stuff to make detergents with out in the woods, and soaps, as you can with the leaves of ivy. You can also use silver birch leaves. That's one of the best sources of saponin. But it does take a bit of processing. You can simmer them, not boil,
Right.
because that actually weakens the effect of the detergent property. So you just simmer it and it'll foam up quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually leave it in warm water as well, and you can just use it to wash yourself, you know, as
no way.
hygiene point of view.
That's the first time I've ever seen that, you know.
Yeah, it smells amazing.
Yeah.
When you strike down, if you bend your knees,
Right.
so
at the same time.
yeah, so you keep the axe, so you go like this, and keep the axe facing down.
Ah, so like that.
Yeah,
So
and then
not
and then
like
you,
that.
Yeah, just don't twist. Just
Ah,
bring down and almost stop there.
okay. So
See what I mean?
like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So you come, you know, you can start up here, and then as you bring down, you just kind of that last movement, bend your knees, and it just makes it a lot safer when you're standing.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I mean, you could kneel if you really wanted to play it safe. Yeah, like that, pretty much.
Look at that. Look at our expert on the midst. Right, let's go. So in the past couple of weeks I've been inquiring quite a bit of kit, stuff I've been researching for well over a year now, and got my first proper cook set, and here you go. I don't think it needs much of an introduction. So this is the actual nesting set, so I've got the cup, the kind of the base, lid and everything. This is the first time I'm using it, so we just collected some water and now we're gonna stick it on the fire to kind of like sterilise it. So at the moment it looks way too clean, especially for a bushcrafter, so let's get this sorted up. So logistically it was a bit of a tough one, but I've got a beautiful assistant from the agency to model my bottle. But no, we've got the pot hanger as well, actually. So there you go, it just clips in. It also doubles up. If I end up cracking too many stupid jokes, it might just put it in my mouth.
There you go. You can use it to exercise your hands as well.
That's it, little multitasking, man. That's what bushcraft is about,
Yeah,
man.
multifunctional tool.
So what we're doing, Mike, we're just sticking it on the fire, aren't we?
Yeah, I've never really used one of these before. I've always seen the Dave Canterbury kit and quite liked it. There we go.
So there you go, just hanging it up. Look at that, the ingenious pulley system, man.
There it is. It's a bit off centre though at the moment. We'll have to move that fire a bit further back.
Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to tap a birch, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Mike,
Yeah.
Mike, so he has an auger set. He's shown in the video. So once again, all this stuff is on his channel, which I will be putting the link to in the description below. So I'm sure most of you have seen it anyway. But what it was, I was just interested myself, Mike, you know, in terms of the maintenance pouch that you've got.
Yeah.
I know some of this we've covered in the previous video, but I know you've made a couple of modifications to it since then and so forth.
Sure.
Would it be okay to have a really quick run through?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. This is just I used to use it as a tinder pouch, but I don't really carry tinder anymore. Just the ferro rod these days for standards, but so the pouch kind of became redundant, and I had loads of maintenance items, and I thought, well, I might as well put them in this pouch and keep them collectively. So this is something you gave me actually pretty recently. I had a bandana, but this is a Swedish bandana, isn't it?
Swedish amag, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's a pretty useful item. Something like this I'd use for all manner of different things. cleaning, it would be used for filtering, even applying like lubricants and things. It's just useful to have a bit of fabric to be able to work with and to put things down on, and they usually have quite a lot of uses. Bits of fabric like this, you can always use it as a bandana if you actually want to wear one, or a scarf. But I've got other items in here. I've got a pan scrubber.
That's an Expedition one, yeah.
That's the Maxpedition pan scrubber, yeah.
That's the one.
It's pretty expensive, but it's worth the money. I shouldn't say that really. They're a good group of guys over there. But yeah, it's pan scrubber. Really for just cleaning really horrible soot on pans. I've got a small tin here, an aluminium tin, and this has some fat in it. I use a whole different range of fats. At the moment in here, this is vegetable fat. I usually use duck fat or goose fat. I've even used pig fat, but doing a bit of shooting, duck and goose is really the two kind of fats that I get to actually render down and use from cooking at home. But this can be used for all manner of different things. It can be used as moisturiser for your hands if you're getting a bit grizzly and you've been out for a few days, or you've got chapped lips. It can be used on your tools, on the metal work for example, you know, if it's starting to corrode, or to prevent corrosion and protect it. Used on wood, just to kind of clean wood down and absorb in.
So would you use it on your tools, for example? We're going to be doing a bit later on in terms of maintenance and stuff.
I use it. This is what I use when I'm at home.
Right.
You know, this kit. I don't have anything else really.
Right.
So when I get home, if I've got to maintain the axe and the knife and everything else, then I just get this out and use this on the kit. When I run out of fat or vegetable fat in here, I just fill it up with whatever's available really, and just crack on with it. But this has been in here for months. A lot of the time I've heard rumour that it goes rancid, but I think if you render it properly, it doesn't go rancid. It takes a very long time. But I've got an auger there, so this can be used for many different things. Just really useful to be able to drill a hole in a piece of wood.
What size is that one, if you don't mind?
I think this is a 6mm.
Right.
So it's pretty small, but you can see it tapers, so it's smaller there than it is there, and I think the maximum diameter is sort of like 6.2mm or something.
Right.
But this is quite nice, got a bit of a boxwood handle on it, so it's yeah, lovely sort of vintage auger. You can get these on eBay for very cheap. I got that for a £5, which was pretty good. Got the DC4, really old DC4. From using it quite a lot, it's just become a bit more refined. The diamond side is virtually gone. I don't use that anyway, but I have used it in the past for big projects and regrind. You can see I've taken the edges off mine because they've got a bit kind of chewed up. But you know, it does the job, and I've got no complaints with it. I'll probably take this diamond side off. I saw a video recently by a knife maker that was pretty good.
That was Del from Dirty Knives.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic video.
Yeah, he does a really good sort of job of making it into a bit more of a practical stone. So I think I'll do that mod. You know, when I get the chance to actually do it. A needle and thread. So we've got,
is there a particular type of thread that you use?
I usually use polyester thread. This is 0.75mm, which is a pretty thick thread. But I've used this on all my projects really, whether it be like a little leather pouch I'm putting together, or putting the pouches on the side of the LK35 backpack. So it's always been a tough thread. A lot of threads I've bought from supermarkets and things and just stores have always broken.
Right.
So I've just, you know, coughed up and bought a much thicker thread. We've got a small kit here. Usually the sharpening stone's in this as well, but it's fallen out because I've been playing around with it. Got some beeswax, really good for tools as well. You know, waterproofing around the head of an axe. Doing a bit of work on wood. It's great for shotgun stocks. You know, sometimes when I go out in heavy rain, and I put a bit in the seams of the shotgun stock in the action just to stop water getting in. Good on friction fire, so it's great for the cord of a bow drill set. Often saves you tightening the actual cord itself.
Right.
You just put the wax on and it almost gives it more tension. And this is the polishing compound, Smurf Poo, or Starkey Blue. Loads of polishing compounds out there, you don't just need this one. I've put a few links on, you know, Amazon stores and things, and on the channel where you can get other ones. There's one in the United States, I think, called a yellow stone, or a yellow polishing compound that's just as good as this, if not better. But
it's just kept in this piece of leather because obviously it colours everything. I've got a piece of bone there. Really, that goes with the tap.
And it's got a hole in it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's got a hole in it. This was given to me actually as part of a set by a gentleman in the United States. It was part of a turkey call, but it fell out. So I decided to just use it as the tap for the friction fire set, and also for, you know, concentrating air into a tinder bundle. And it works pretty well for that.
Nice.
Yeah, so got a little straw there. Actually can be used as a straw. There's a random piece of wood that's got in there somehow. I don't know what that is. I think that's me trying to make a bushcraft pencil.
Right.
I don't know what that is, but yeah, it's got in there. Just probably fallen in off the worktop. But that's really the maintenance kit. Really basic, but you can maintain everything with that. That I carry anyway. I can maintain everything with it. So it's a pretty good kit.
Okay, so we're going to tap some birch now. Right?
Yeah, we've got a silver birch here, Betula pendula. So this one here looks like it's taken a bit of a hit just here at some point in time. Something sheared off or been taken off by it. Possibly something from this oak falling down, maybe, I don't know, shearing a branch, but yeah, it's taken a bit of a hit, and you can see it's recovered from it, and it's actually doing pretty well. There's no polypores on it, so bracket fungi, birch polypore, and there's buds at the top. You can see the branches are actually quite healthy if you sort of hit the tree a bit.
Yeah.
You see they'll wobble, and those are usually the first things to go when a tree like this, a birch tree, is fairly rotten. You know, those little twigs will just be on the ground. So,
right.
you know, you can tell that this one's sort of quite alive and pretty healthy. But I thought we'd tap this one because it's already taken a huge hit. And there are a lot of other birches around here, and they're all pretty healthy and undamaged. And I thought we'd just pick this one because it's already taken a bit of a hit. It'd be a shame to damage another tree, because when you tap a tree, ultimately you're creating a wound that's never actually going to properly heal. And you just have to be mindful that you really want to be making it as small a hole as you possibly can. I've seen some big old holes drilled in birch trees, and a lot of the time you can actually kill them if you drill massive, great big holes in. But this one's not looking too bad. There's a little bit of pitting going on in the bark, so I don't honestly know how healthy this one is, but I think we should just tap this. So we need to prepare the bottle first.
So here we go, tapping my first tree, man. Right, what's the first step then, Mr. MCQ?
I'd get your bottle ready first. We've got the mesh on to stop any bugs dropping in or any bits of crap. So just, yeah, you want to tie some cordage around the lip of that bottle there.
So with this mesh on top to prevent the...
Yeah, just to prevent any bits going in, any insects.
Just one thing worth mentioning, that Mark has recently done a very, very detailed tutorial on his channel. So, you know, it's really something I highly recommend. You need to go check out if you haven't done so already.
Cheers,
So with this one, so...
what I do is leave quite a bit of slack, so you come right out here. This isn't a particularly big tree. And
so let's put a jackal away. So far I've opened up 3 packets of food with this, so not very bushcraft.
He's pretty good at opening up plastic packaging.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's great for opening up plastic packaging, man. In a survival situation, if you have to open up plastic packaging, you're done. Right, so let's put this away. No, it's a great knife, love this.
It's a good little neck knife.
Okay, so...
And you sort of want to wrap this round like this and then tie a knot there.
Okay.
So the knot is actually on one side of the bottle.
Oh, so it tips over, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, no, oh sorry, I thought you were joking.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, so that knot is then closest to the tree, you see.
Right.
So you're not kind of, if you have the knot the other side, or it's not kind of close to the tree, it will start to tip the bottle like this.
Gotcha.
So we just do a standard granny knot.
That was just a crossover.
Oh, is it? I'll do another. Yeah, do one more. And then we can chuck that on the ground. We're done with that for the time being.
Okay.
So you want to get your auger, and I'll grab onto this bone. When you're doing this professionally, you really should sterilise these tools.
Okay.
To sort of minimise, you know, possibly putting in any kind of infection into the tree. But in this case, this is probably you know, okay anyway.
Okay.
I mean, you see professionals do it and they go out and do it on maple trees. They have bleach on them and everything. But
Right.
you know, in a bushcraft context, you've got
There's
pretty
not
minimal
growing
kit.
crystal meth in the woods, are there?
No, I don't think
That's
so.
how I need on the beach. Watching too much Breaking Bad.
I don't know whether we should tap it anywhere around here. That area there is going to be pretty wooded over. It's going to be pretty hard. I'd probably come around this side into here.
Into there.
Yeah, we'll probably go a bit lower down this time, just around here as well.
Cool. So let's do it. Let me bring the camera in. Right, let's go. So where are we looking at then, Mike?
I'll say about there's a nice clean patch.
So what made you want to choose this spot here then?
It was just looking at me funny, really. So I thought,
right.
yeah.
That's just
No.
me.
This patch here is pretty clean. If you sort of start picking other areas like this and you've got lots of scabbing and you start drilling a little hole, what the sap can do is start following these little lines, and you never really get a perfect seal around your actual tap or spile.
Right.
So this clean area here, I'd always pick a clean area like that, and then you can see whether you've got any drippage coming out. And it just keeps things a bit more visually clean for you.
Nice.
So you know
And
what's going on.
are we going at an angle or are we going straight in?
I'd probably go up like that.
At a bit of an angle.
Yeah, because the way we're going to hang the pot in this case, isn't it?
Right.
So go up. You don't need to go in too far.
Okay.
You'll see the colour of the material change. The auger should just make this real easy.
I love this auger. Such a cool
Yeah,
bit.
it's nice. So we're not in that far at the moment, like half a centimetre or so. Keep going. Probably going about a centimetre. And there we go.
You
So
can
if
start to see it, can't
yeah,
you?
yeah. If you pull the auger out, just literally give it a good pop out.
Oh, there you go. It's coming.
The sap's starting to come out. So the issue really with this is that's looking a little bit dirty actually, like the hole, in a respect that there's a lot of muck around it and everything, and when you start tapping this in, what will happen is all the muck will go in the hole
Right.
and clog it, and then nothing will come out. So if you go in with the auger again and just try and tidy up the hole just a little bit. It seems to be running pretty good. We just want to avoid clogging the actual tap. That's looking pretty good. So you want to take this now
Okay.
and the axe, and use obviously the back of the axe to tap it in. Try and line that up.
Let's do this.
So it's already coming out. So if you take that thing back out, tap back out, and
Okay, so
yeah, placing it in like that, just tap it in.
just dot lightly.
Yeah, till the brightest bit of the bone there is gone. That should do it. See how it behaves now. So now we've got it at a nice little angle like that, it should just run down and avoid running down the trunk. The issue with it going down the trunk is the bugs get wind of it,
Right.
like the slugs and things, and they start coming up
Right.
the trunk to the wound, and that can be a bit of a bad thing for the tree. So that's alright. So despite how loose that is, we still don't have any leakage down the trunk, which amazes me, but yeah, it's working fine. The only thing is about keeping it pushing against the mesh, is it just avoids a bit of absorption around there. But the nice thing about this mesh is it won't do that. Sometimes when you have a bandana,
Right, it will.
the whole bandana just starts to absorb all the sap
Interesting.
before you get that weight going down. So it's always good to have something pushing down on that, and it just keeps that, keeps gravity on your side really. But that's it now.
Look at that, man. Got well chuffed.
Yeah.
We can open our own bar now, birch tapping bar. Birch tapping cocktails.
Yeah, we've got no leakage. I'm amazed. Even despite how loose the tap is, it's clearly just all running down the tap. I mean, if you move this down, you'll see it all literally just flowing out.
Alright guys, so I promised you a quick tour of the camp, but here we go. Right, so what we've done is we've actually tied the ridge lines together in one row. I'll show you the connections in a second, and we've just done like a lean-to. I've just kind of temporarily just chucked this side of the tarp over, just to give us a bit of working space, and that will kind of go over like that. But what we've done actually a leaf debris bedding. First time I've actually done that. And I'll tell you what, it's really, really comfortable. So, we just put leaf debris underneath. I've got a tarp. And then this is a new actually acquisition. This is a British Army sleeping bag, winter sleeping bag. I think it's the 90 pattern. Very new, first time I'm using it. And let's just have a look here. There we go. It's a British Arctic, I think it is, sleeping bag. So it's a great, great sleeping bag. And inside here I've got the sleeping mat, so that's gone inside there. We just kind of rolled it over just to stop the bugs going in. And then Mike has got a wool blanket with a bit of rolled up foam as a pillow. Same sleeping bag with a foam mat inside it. And obviously this is Mike's kit. So obviously he's shown a lot of this stuff on his channel. So let me show you. I just kind of tied the ridge lines together, so you go straight across. Okay, straight across there. This is our camp area here, so like the cooking area. So the neat idea I've got of Mike here, this is Mike's patented system for hanging up pots. But this is really cool. So we just got this stuff to kind of hang up our pots and tools and stuff, so they're out of the way. Some of my stuff there. Obviously you've seen this earlier in the video, like the tripod setup. Just put a hook up there. We're just kind of maintaining the fire. That wood is burned beautifully, hasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, it's been great. We've got some huge long bits of oak for tonight. They'll just burn all night. We need to touch it. This is all ash, so it's not quite as dense, but it's still pretty good.
It's been burning beautifully.
Yeah.
Obviously this is Mike's gear over here, so just keeping it a bit organised. Obviously some more of his kit. And there you go. So obviously, so it's quite dry at night. So obviously we'll bring the burgers, our bags inside under the tarp. But it's just we're fortunate. It's been pretty dry. It's been beautiful earlier on, hasn't it? The weather.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
So it's been such a nice day. Last night was crazily quiet.
It was, wasn't it?
And we had the eclipse, and everything was a bit unusual. And,
yeah. But that's a normal night with me. It's got nothing to do with the eclipse.
Yeah, it was pretty strange actually. But yeah, it's been really nice. Really nice evening.
I mean, I'll mention it at the end of the video, but I've taken a lot of snaps of this wild camp and also this camp setup as well. So if you want to see like a detailed look at that stuff, then feel free to kind of check the link below this video. But there you go, man. That's our camp. So guys, so we're just wrapping up for the evening. So a couple of things I'm going to sort out with Mike is. So far I've been carrying this little notepad and it's done its work, but as I've gotten more serious into the outdoors and bushcraft and everything that goes with it, the times I've kind of spent with Mike, I noticed he carried a journal. And what is it? It's a Filofax, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little Filofax journal. So the nice thing, I've carried a lot of journals and wrote in quite a lot of them, and the thing that always annoyed me was sometimes your thought process and the way you record information isn't as organised as it can be, and then when you go back to rewrite things, perhaps you know, you want to organise the pages in a certain way,
Yeah.
and you know, kind of bulk things together like plants in a specific family or something along those lines, and it just helps with the Filofax because they're like binders.
Yeah.
And you can just buy the pages and fill them up, and provided you're not wading through rivers every day of your life, they'll hold up
Yeah.
to quite a bit. They're actually not too bad.
No, it's really good, and so therefore, Mike inspired me because, like I said, I'm starting to get out a lot more now, especially day hikes and obviously campouts, and I'm really getting to my learning in terms of IDing, skills, and everything that kind of goes with it. So I acquired a new Filofax. It's really shining. All my kit's shining at the
look
moment.
at that.
I
It
know.
looks nice, doesn't it?
I know.
It's
but
a nice journal.
but give it a few months, man, it'll be battered. But no, what I'm using this and actually using today as a starting point to kind of start doing two things really. So firstly is it's got a calendar part in it where just keeping a very small written journal, because even at home I'm practicing quite a bit of stuff, even in terms of crafts. So I'm going to start making a journal of everything. But then also primarily it's to record my learnings. Now one thing I will add on just before I kind of ask Mike about the importance of a journal is you are going to be doing a video, aren't you, on your channel?
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, soon. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not going to go into detail here because Mike will do a fantastic job on his channel explaining a lot more in depth, the journal, what it entails and whatever. But do you know, for guys that are watching, I mean, in a nutshell, what would you deem as important? Why is it important to carry a journal, especially in the field of bushcraft?
There's a hell of a lot to learn.
Mm.
There's a massive ream of subjects. It's pretty infinite. You're always a bit of a novice really in bushcraft. The minute you think you've picked up a load of information and you know what you're doing, something teaches you that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And for me, it's kind of like an extension of my mind. There's a lot of books out there, a lot of wild edibles guides, a lot of tree ID guides, a lot of general basic skill guides on bushcraft. And you can't really carry all those books with you out in the field, and you can't always access the pages you're looking for at that time. So a journal for me was just my way of kind of recording my learning, and also taking everything that I need to know and kind of organising it so I've got everything I kind of need right here in the field with me. So if I see something and I think, I recognise that plant, I know what it is, but I've kind of forgotten what essential way to cook it,
Right.
how to approach it, I can just check through my journal and say, oh, there we go, yeah, it's, I best cook that first, or the stem or the root is the best thing to eat on that plant.
Right.
And suddenly, you're carrying around this book with you that it's really just containing everything that you want it to contain personally for your experiences out there. And you can also record basic information as well, like what happens when you went out. Record a bit about your day. And I think a lot of the time, the thing that attracts me of bushcraft is when you're out there doing it, if you want to call it bushcraft, I know it's got a lot of names really, but to me it's just outdoor living skills. When you're out there doing those kind of skills, you're completely engrossed in them 100%. And I think a lot of the time, if you look at your life and you try and remember what you did last Wednesday, a week ago, you may think, oh, actually, what did I do? I can't remember what I did. And life starts to become a bit of a blur. But when you start doing bushcraft and you start getting out, these things are really memorable. It's all, you're focused in the activity 100%, and it's really engrossing. And when you keep a journal, it's just a really great way of helping you remember all these things and recording information.
For me, like as you were talking, I was kind of having a flashback over the past kind of day or so, and it's little things, little simple things for me, like oak, the way oak burned really well, the way some of the properties of hazel, there was a couple of techniques, even for the pot hanger, which is right here in front of us, little things that you did with the cordage, the way the ridgeline was set up, little things that when you see, and someone like me, if anyone's ever spent time with me knows, like I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'll ask even the most simple question. I'll ask, even if it looks stupid, I don't care. But like I said, in general, I know it's going to help me kind of like moving forward and start taking notes, and like you said, and it reinforces that learning as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
By writing things down. So in a way, I use the videos for that as well. This is why even Mike kindly allowed me to record some of our time out here in the woods. but I use the videos to do that. But you know, for me on a personal level, like I said, there's a lot of stuff I do outside of video as well. Yes, a journal is a good way of reinforcing that learning. Every day I'm working on stuff, making notes, you know, keeping a diary of the things that I'm doing. I mean, something we were talking about earlier, it's like you don't realise how much you actually cover in a short space of time.
No, that's right. You cover so much. And
yeah.
I think as well, there seems to be, I've noticed it anyway with people I've met over the years, you know, people are almost afraid to admit they've forgotten something.
Yeah.
You know, you meet other guys, you work with other people, and you're like, oh, I can't remember that tree, you know, what's the scientific name or something, and they just get hooked up on it, and almost like they've lost credibility. But I think that everybody forgets things, and I forget things all the time. You know, I've got a good memory for stuff, but there are still things that I forget if I don't focus on them for a while. Like if I study something and then I forget about it for a year, and I'm not going to know as much about it as when I first originally studied it, because I was really into it at that point. So recording it in the journal as you're interested in something, because you tend to move through the subjects in bushcraft and they're all connected like a big picture, you know, with dots, and you find yourself more into something at one stage than you are at another stage. And when you're into that one thing, if you're like me anyway, you're usually into it 100%. So recording it at that time, you know you'll do a very good job at documenting all the information you need to know about it. So when you need to go back to that info, it'll be really good. You know, it'll be crisp. So it's just a little take on it. Really.
Exactly. And the copies patented recipes as well for bannock.
No, don't do that. There's a guy out there who might have been watching the videos who I cooked bannock for. It remained nameless, but it was the most dreadful bannock. A chap called Ian, actually, if he's watching this, he'll probably be laughing at that scene.
Ian, trust me, it was alright this time. He redeemed himself actually this time.
I think it was the gluten-free flour that I used the last time.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, it was. The missus is gluten-free, so obviously that's all we've got in the house sometimes. But that's my excuse anyway.
That's it. And when he says the missus, it means the actual missus, not me. I know we're close, not that close. But, but no, what we're going to do now, we're going to spend just a bit of time sorting out a journal. But like I said, in all seriousness, Mike is going to do it, and I doubt there's very few of you that are subscribed. If not, once again, the link will be below the video. But Mike will do a much detailed video, explaining exactly, how to go about, organising your journal, etc., and some tips and advice. He always does a great job at explaining these things. So that's it. We're just going to get on with doing that now. So guys, that is a wrap for this video. Mike, I want to thank you sincerely.
Yeah, no, good to have you down again, mate.
Yeah,
it's been a really good time.
Yeah, it's been a great time, man. We're wrapping it, recording up this evening. Now we're actually here till tomorrow morning. All it is, we've just got a few things to sort out now, and then we're leaving quite early.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning we've both got some other commitments, so we're leaving very, very early.
Yeah, really early.
So it's going to be very difficult to kind of like get up very early, pack out and record and so forth. So what we're doing, I'm just kind of taking the opportunity to wrap up the video now. As always, I really hope you enjoyed this time out. Like I said, this wasn't really a tutorial or anything, even though obviously, Mike has shared quite a bit of information. This is more kind of a video direct of my time spent with Mike. And it's been great, I've achieved a lot of what I wanted to do out here, which was to kind of go through my kit, which I've got a lot of new acquisitions, sorting out some specific items.
Through everything.
Yeah, and it's been a real kind of steep learning curve, which I've enjoyed a lot. Obviously, I'll be divulging stuff in the future, kind of in terms of what bits of kit I've got. But as you guys know, I don't really do the whole kit review thing, But obviously, I will show what I've got, in terms of how I'm getting on with it and how I'm using it. And obviously, it's just a work in progress.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, it was, isn't it?
Yeah, like with everything. It's needless to say, for the very few that are not subscribed to Mike, and obviously, needless to say, I will put a link to Mike's channel below. It is an absolute wealth of information. And you don't get
Cheers,
any bad
mate.
jokes, so yeah, that's it. That's my department, right?
Yeah, right.
So all you're going to get is really good factual information. And like I said, needless to say, if you're not already subscribed, then head on over. A lot of this kind of specific stuff, if Mike has not already covered, which he already has mostly on his channel, certain items like the journal, etc. No doubt, Mike will do an amazing job.
I'll be doing some videos on it very soon.
Yeah.
Got quite a lot of videos coming up, so yeah, just getting a few bits of kit ready. I've been sorting quite a lot out recently and planning to go away for a little while, so it's just when you new boots and everything, you've got to get comfortable if you're going to sit out for a while. So yeah, should be some more videos.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it myself. Even though I spend time on Mike, I actually look forward to his videos. So it's a good learning curve. I mean, I'll switch off after a couple of minutes, but yeah, it's just I'm joking, right? He knows I'm messing around. But it's been a great time. Like I said, needless to say, if you're not already subscribed, please go check out Mike's channel. If you've got any comments, questions, or anything, please leave them down below. I have done a photo album of the kind of our time here, and I'll put that up on my fan page, and I'll put a link that below as well. Please feel free to check those out. You see some specific photos of a lot of the stuff that we're doing, including kit and all that stuff. So check that out. Links are all below. If you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Should be a logo on this video somewhere. YouTube keeps moving it around. It was up there before.
It's gone down.
And then now it's gone down now. So, it's somewhere here on this screen. You'll see the button. You can click and subscribe from there. Always, look forward to the next instalment of my adventures. And as always, Mike, I want to thank you once again.
Thanks very much.
It's been a pleasure. And as always, guys, I really appreciate you watching and taking the time to kind of watch this video. Leave any comments and suggestions below. And as always, until the next time, this is Zed from Zedoutdoors. Peace out.
Cheers, guys.